Hi, mathletes. Are you ready to stretch your brain? Today's question of the week comes from Problem Solving Experience in Mathematics. Here's your question. Dan, Debbie, Ed, and Jean were training for cross-country racing. Ed ran twice as far as Debbie. Jean ran 8 kilometers less than Ed. Debbie ran 5 kilometers more than Dan. Dan ran 6 kilometers. So how far did each person run? You can pause the video here and give it a go. And after you're done, you can resume and we can see how we solved this problem. Welcome back. So the strategy I used was working backwards. So let's work backwards. So first of all, we know that Dan ran 6 kilometers. So we could say that Dan equals 6 kilometers. Now going backwards, we know Debbie ran 5 kilometers more than Dan. So if Dan is 6, we can say 6 kilometers plus the 5 kilometers more. So we get 11 kilometers. So Debbie is 11 kilometers. Now we know that Ed ran twice as far as Debbie. So if Debbie ran 11 kilometers and Ed ran twice as much, we'd multiply by 2. So Ed is 22 kilometers. And lastly is Jean. Jean ran 8 kilometers less than Ed. So we know that Ed is 22 kilometers. We subtract 8, and that means Jean ran 14 kilometers. So Dan ran 6 kilometers, Debbie ran 11 kilometers, Ed ran 22 kilometers, and Jean ran 14 kilometers. Did you want to try an extension? Okay, here we go. What if Debbie ran 10 kilometers, but all the other factors remain the same? Let's see how far everyone else ran. Okay, you can pause the video here, give it a go, and when you're ready, resume. Welcome back. So was this a little bit easier? Hopefully. Let's try working backwards again. So here's all the information we had before, but this time, instead of Debbie being 11, we're going to change it to 10. Okay, now let's go backwards. If this is 10 kilometers, that means Dan would have to be 5 plus what is 10, and 5 plus 5. So Dan is 5 kilometers. Okay, now let's look at Ed. Ed ran twice as far as Debbie. And again, Debbie's 10 kilometers, so 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. So Ed is 20 kilometers. And lastly is Jean. Jean again ran 8 kilometers less than Ed. And again, Ed is now 20. So 20 minus 8 is 12. So Jean ran 12 kilometers. So Dan ran 5 kilometers, Debbie ran 10 kilometers, and Ed ran 20 kilometers. And finally, Jean ran 12 kilometers. Thanks as always for watching, and never miss a new question of the week. Hit the subscribe button. Again, new problems every week. Please leave a comment below. Maybe you can tell me how hard you thought it was or which strategy you decide to use, but don't give any spoilers. And if you like this, you could share it with a friend. Know someone who'd love the challenge? Send it their way.